Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Frildran, and as you can see today, I'm back in Star Trek Online. Today I'm going over the summer event ship, the Federation Intel Holoship. Now, this ship is, I tested it out a little bit. I actually did a recording before this, but my audio is all messed up for some reason. As you can tell, my audio is definitely a lot different from my other videos, if you do watch my videos. Still working on getting the kinks out. Hopefully I can figure it out. Because I definitely do not normally sound like this. I mean, it may be a little bit different, but yeah, let's get into the video. Yeah, this ship is, it's unique. It's got kind of its own little thing to it. There might be a couple of ships, I guess, that have like a somewhat similar theme to it, but this one has like a little extra. But let's start with the bridge officer seating. We have 4 bridge officer seatings. They're all universal. The first one is Commander Universal Intelligence Station. Next one we have is Lieutenant Commander Universal / Miracle Worker Station. Next we have the Lieutenant Commander Universal Station, and lastly we have the Lieutenant Universal Station. Yeah, because of the seating, you have kind of, you know, a good options, you know, decent options. You can kind of fill out more towards like tactical or science or engineering or whichever you want, or like balance it out with, you know, different, you know, your other options here with the Miracle Worker and the Intelligence. So yeah, that's pretty decent right there. The next thing we have is console slot layout. Now this is pretty good. I would say this is pretty decent. Because you have, excuse me, voice, because you have 4 engineering consoles, 4 tactical consoles, 3 science consoles. Plus, we have an extra console, which is a universal console. That's not including on top of the fact that if you upgrade this to a Tier 6U, you get another universal console. So that's a total of 13 once you upgrade the ship. Now here's the thing though. Normally you wouldn't have this console, the first initial universal console slot, on a ship like this, because this, as it says up here, is an Intel ship. This is normally you only see on a Miracle Worker ship. And I mean Miracle Worker as in entitled Miracle Worker, primary Miracle Worker. This is primary and Intel. It does have a Miracle Worker station, but again, it's not primary Miracle Worker. So it's kind of weird that they have that there, but I'm not complaining. I hope they keep it in. Because that would suck if they got rid of that. Because Miracle Worker ships with that extra console slot are really good, because, you know, when you're making a build, sometimes you have to sacrifice a console for another console because it might fit your build better, but you still don't have what made that other console that you're getting rid of unique. So with this one, you don't have to choose between 2 consoles. You can have them both. So yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Next we have forward and aft weapons. We have 4 each. Pretty standard. Base hull at level 50 is just over 43,000. At level 60, 50,000. Level 65 is just over 56,000. Not bad. I mean, it's not great. Definitely see a lot of other ships with a lot better than that. But not bad. Turn rate is 11, which is definitely not good, even for a small ship. Normally a small ship, you want usually it's a lot better. Let's see, device slots 3. Shield modifier is 1.15. Anything over 1.0 is good, so that's a good one. Obviously, this ship you can get, after you complete the tutorial, you can fly it, but it'll be kind of a downgraded version of it. Your max hull will be lower. The amount of console slots you'll have will be lower, weapon slots and all that stuff. But the higher the level you get, the more of those you actually get back. I will be going. Oh wait, actually, I'm in space. Earlier when I tried recording this and had problems, I almost completely skipped over these. All right, so, all right, so the Starship Mastery. I forget what the actual mastery is called, but it comes with advanced hull plating, which is plus 25 in both physical and kinetic resistance rating. So that's more for survivability. Next, we have rapid repairs. Regenerates 1,016 hull, 1.25% of your current max hull. So that's 1.25%, of what my current hull is. For every 3 seconds in space, twice the amount regenerated out of combat. Not bad. I'll take it. Next, we have advanced hull plating, plus 25 energy damage resistant rating, and plus 25 radiation damage resistant rating. Okay, so a little bit more survivability. And next we have armored hull, plus 10% hull hit points. Again, survivability. So this is all about, excuse me, this is all about survivability. As you can tell, my throat's a bit sore. Recording this and then trying to mess with my audio and stuff with OBS is weird. Anyways, next we have our Starship trait that comes with this. Ouroboros drive. Tactical and intel abilities reduce engineering and miracle worker recharge time, and vice versa. So having the ability to have stuff cool down quicker is really good, especially with abilities you use a lot. It's self minus 10% recharge time on those abilities, so not bad. I like it. I do like, reducing recharge time on a lot of stuff. I kind of wish it had science abilities. I do use a lot more science abilities like gravity well. That's fine. Now let's go over the console. More detail. All right. First of all, we have a keep forgetting the word, built-in, I guess would be the word. Plus 25% inertia rating, which is needed for this because the inertia on this is not that great. And a plus 20 defense rating. That's pretty good. Next we have, affect foes 10 max, 10 kilometer sphere, 2-minute recharge, to self, 200. Let's try that again. 200 or 2,000, not 2. Why am I saying 2? Not dyslexic. I am perfectly normal with words. Okay. Or numbers. These happen to be numbers. All right. 6,756.3 temporary hit points for 15 seconds. Plus 5% all damage resistance rating for 15 seconds. An additional plus 5% all damage resistance rating per foe for 15 seconds. So, and the max is 10 foes. So that's plus 50% on top of this, already 5%. So that's 55% additional damage resistance rating. So a lot of this so far has been about being a lot more defensive, which is really good, considering the ship does not have a decent starting hull amount. So, all right, next we have to target, minus 25% all damage resistance rating for 15 seconds, up to 10 foes within 10-kilometer radius, and it placates them for 4.8% or seconds. All right, that's not too bad. Ignore this part. I couldn't figure out what this is coming from. I don't know if it's like a trait I have or something. I don't know, but that's something separate. All right. That's the console. Oh, and I only really have some tactical consoles on here right now. I don't want to like buff it too much. I kind of want to show what the ship is like out of the box. Well, technically out of the box, because I do have the mastery unlocked. So out of the box plus the mastery. Also, this ship comes with cloaking device. I did not realize that at first. And depending on what mode you're in or what configuration you're in, we have, now this is called the it just says activate holomatrix. Dominion War holomatrix. So you'll become any ship that was around during the Dominion War. So I'm just Klingon one right now. Let's revert back and then try again, see if we get something else. Here we go. Now I'm a like Galaxy class of some sort. It's pretty nice. Now you'll notice that, you know, it looks plain, but when I take this off, you can see that my ship is green. Now I did go into the customization options for the ship. There really wasn't much to it. There's no special like interior for the ship, so I won't be showing that off. And for customization wise, it was just the patterns and the colors of those patterns. You can't really shape the ship because everything's kind of like built in. It's like one piece. Because most of the time you can like change the shape in like the nacelles or something. But with this one, you can't. So, but it kind of sucks that it doesn't translate over to the holographic part. Now, what does translate over is if you have visuals and you have shield on. Go ahead and try that one on. As you can see, it's different now. So I don't know why the pattern doesn't work, but the shields do. It's kind of weird. But I think it's more of a quality of life issue right there. So I don't know if they would fix that. So you can have your pattern on the holographic versions. But that's fine. Now let's go over to the actual modes or configurations. First we have tactical. And with tactical, you get 2 stealth, minus max hull capacity of 25%, and another minus 25% max shield capacity, plus 20% flight speed, and plus 5 turn rate. So this is like minus like defense and more offense because, well, I mean, flight speed does technically equal defense because it's got a defensive bonus the faster you're going. But also we have in subsystem powers, we have a plus 15 weapon subsystem power and plus 15 engine subsystem power. Now this bottom part you see here, these are all individual for which type or configuration you're in. As you can see, I'm at 85 right now. This is from my previous attempt at a video and stuff like that. So, but each one of these give you something new. So I have unlocked 50 foes defeated. So right now I have, while I'm in tactical mode, I have a minus 10% to weapon power cost. And that's pretty decent because if you're doing a beam build, you definitely want a reduction in how much power you're using for your weapons. Next, we have at 100 plus 2% critical chance with weapons. At 150, we have plus 10 crit severity with weapons. And at 200, we have plus 10% weapon firing cycle haste. And those do stack, I believe. So if you're at 200, you get all those. Next, we have the engineering. 2 self plus 15% max hull capacity, plus 15% max shield capacity, minus 10% flight speed, minus turn rate. This is more about survivability with that extra hull and shield capacity, and to kind of mimic a big ship because they're a lot slower and turn slower. So it's kind of standard. With subsystem power, we have plus 10 weapon subsystem power, plus 10 shield, and plus 10 auxiliary. I guess this is pretty standard what you get in like a bigger ship. Now we have the unlocks. At 50 foes, you get 10% plus 10% hull regeneration. 100, you get plus 10% shield regeneration. At 150, you get plus 35 all damage resistance rating. And at 200, you get plus 5 max all power subsystems. Again, this is more about defense, being engineering and all. So next, we have science. With this 2 self, you get minus max hull capacity of 10%, but you get a plus 20% max shield capacity, a plus 10 flight turn rate, and a plus 10% flight speed, and a plus 2 to turn rate. So this is pretty, typical of like a science ship. And then for subsystem powers, we have plus 15 shield and plus 15 ox, which is pretty much standard for a science ship. And again, we also have our bonuses for defeating foes. At 50, you get plus 25 particle generator. At 100, you get plus 25 control expertise. At 150, you get plus 25 drain expertise. And at 200, you get plus 10 recharge speed on universal consoles. So a lot to do with like science abilities, gravity well, shield drain, stuff like that. Pretty good. Now they do have a 20-hour, I guess, use time from start. So the first time you use that configuration and defeat an enemy, 20 hours later it will reset. You gotta do all over again. But it's not too bad. It's fine. And I think that is about it for the console itself, or the ship itself. I think I've gone over everything. Now I want to go into a patrol and kind of show off what this looks like in battle as is. And I like to go into Wanted Argala system because it's a good testing point for a ship when you first get it and you don't have anything added onto it. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I am on Argala. Let's go ahead and start with tactical. So my defenses will be down, but my offensive abilities should be stronger. I should be faster and be able to turn more. Let's go ahead and catch up there. Now, I'm not doing like the most damage I can be doing right now. Again, I don't have like a full build. Normally I would be done with this by now, or with this battle. And let's go ahead and lower my audio a little bit. It seems a little bit loud.
You have entered an area controlled by the You are now... Looks like our fight got them to notice us. Let's go over and ask if their boss might come out of hiding.
Alright, that audio should be a little bit better now. Let's go ahead and use this console to make them weak against this stuff. The gravity well. Now let's go ahead and switch over to engineering. So I should be more tanky now.
Keep concentrating fire on individual ships. Separate them and whittle down their numbers. We will not go quietly.
Go ahead and actually activate my holographic emitter. I can see I'm a Constitution class, or not Constitution class. What is it? Miranda class or whatever. Okay. There we go. So I mean, the ship's acting a little bit weird. It's not turning very fast. I mean, I know the engineering mode, it's supposed to turn slower, but it seems a little bit weird.
You will stand down.
Let's go ahead and switch over to science. So I should have a little bit better turn rate.
Habitations in some of the asteroids, possibly consistent with bolt holes, temporary hideouts.
Right now I look like a science ship. So now my draining abilities and my exotic particle damage should be a lot higher because my auxiliary is better. Let's go on to the next one. Speed up a little bit. There we go. So I should actually probably use my intel abilities. Just gather information. Let's go ahead and attack their defenses so they're weaker. There we go. This should be, oh, not quite. There we go.
We do what we want, where we want.
Go ahead and switch back over to tactical. You do that on the fly. I like that. You don't have to be out of combat or anything.
Picked up a tight beam transmission on a new frequency. We're jamming that spectrum of their comms now, but it was probably a call for assistance.
The gravity well. This is one of those steam runners. Is that what it's called? Steam runner? Or Akira class or something like that. I forget.
I'm taking you with me.
I definitely want to be in tactical because these will take me a while with not having a good build yet on this ship. So I want as much DPS as I can. So actually go in stealth. let's weaken them. Let's do a turnaround. Then we'll get gravity well in there. I'd definitely be done with this if I had a much better build. You know, more DPS.
That's got them. Excellent.
There we go.
We'll send over a pack.
All right, so yeah, it's not too bad. It gets the job done. On this map in particular, this patrol, enemies are a lot weaker, so and they don't come at you like really crazy fast. They don't have like extra abilities that they can use, and in general it's a good testing map. So now I'm gonna definitely have to take a bit of a break from recording because this has a bit of a cooldown time. It's like 15 minutes or something, like 20 minutes or something like that. So I'll be back when the cooldown timer is down, and I will have my proper build put onto the ship. All right, I am back, and I have my ship set up a little bit more, kind of how I would have most of my ships normally set up. This is kind of similar to what my current ship is, console layout and setup wise, but a little bit different. Now these consoles I have right here, they're generally meant more for like your hangar pets, but they do have this additional phaser damage on them, and it does include my damage. So I have these on here. I'm not gonna go over everything. But most of these things are like, adding damage and energy levels, a few abilities and stuff. But I'm just here to kind of, do basically what I did before, but with this setup. So let's go ahead and get into the same patrol, and I'll meet you there. All right, so all my abilities are gonna be stronger. My weapon damage, my science abilities like gravity well, my healing is gonna be a lot better. I'm a lot faster than I was before. Yeah, overall in general a lot better. It took me a lot longer to do that one. I'm not even in a build or in a mode yet. Let's go to tactical configuration. So I should be even doing more damage with my weapons.
You haven't. Looks like our fight got them to notice us. Let's go over and ask if their boss might come out of hiding.
Let's use the console. I'm shredding through them a lot faster than I was before. So yeah, this ship can handle quite a bit as long as you got a decent build.
Keep concentrating.
Even if you don't have a full build yet.
Ships. Separate them and whittle down their numbers. We will not go quietly.
Now I do not have this upgraded to tier 6U. Otherwise I probably would have a little bit more DPS, I guess, or another console added.
Sensors are picking up small habitations in some of the asteroids, possibly consistent with bolt holes, temporary hideouts.
But it doesn't really matter. I'm still doing a lot of damage. Switch over to engineering. Be a lot more tanky because my build is better. Okay, my ship did a 180 for some reason. Not sure what that's about.
We do what we want, where we want.
Picked up a tight beam transmission on a new frequency. We're
Yeah,
jamming that spectrum of their comms now, but it was probably a call for assistance.
Now, I definitely was like a lot further back in this. I was like maybe on the second group of ships at this point.
I'm taking you with me.
With the previous build, I was definitely way further back. Go over science. Detect gravity well.
That's got
There we go.
excellent work.
All right, so that's basically it. Yeah, this ship it's a decent ship. You know, it's got its gimmickiness with the ability to change how it looks. No, it doesn't really technically matter. I mean, this is more visual because it doesn't matter if you have this on or not. You're still getting it. What the you know, the boosts from the foes defeated while this is activated, and then all the other stuff, the power levels, and then all that, you know, flight turns, flight speed, turn rate, hull capacity, and all that is determined by these, not by being cloaked. So the console, I like the console, you know, temporary hull, a lot of resistance, but also making your foes weaker, really good. You're combining that with gravity well and Techie and Rift, really good. You know, being in engineering configuration, definitely gonna be a lot tankier. Being in tactical, definitely gonna be doing a lot more damage. And you know, it's one of those kind of like it's supposed to be kind of like one of those jack of all trade type ships, you know. It could do this, it could do that, it could do this type thing, and I do like the idea. But would this be like you know, like a daily ship? You know, will I be using this quite a lot? Probably not a lot. I might use it occasionally, you know, kind of switch things up a bit. But I think for some people they might, because like, you know, there's so many different builds out there that require you to be, you know, more DPS oriented or more tanky, you know, or whatever. You know, if you're playing a healer and you go in with this ship and you're, you know, set to science, you got all the extra auxiliary power so you can heal better, you know, heal your teammate and stuff. But say that like you don't need to be healing at that time, you can switch over to like tactical or and do some more DPS. So you'd be like kind of an off healer or an off tank if you pair it with like engineering. But yeah, overall, I give this ship a solid like A. You know, like somewhere between the A minus and the A, because it's probably not gonna be like a lot of people probably won't be flying this as their primary ship. But there probably will be a few people for the time being until something better comes along. Hull wise, it's not the greatest. It's a small ship. Yeah, you get more when you're in engineering mode, but you don't with any of the other modes. Let's see here. Yeah, I think it's pretty much about it. Now let's talk about how much longer you have to get it. Not much time left. Hold on, let me. All right, right now it's the 23rd. So just after midnight. You have so from right now the 23rd till the 30th to get this finished. Now if you don't think you can get it finished in time, you can't see it right now, but there's usually a buyout option right here. Now normally it's Zen, but for some reason this time for the summer event it's low-buy crystals, the stuff you use in the low-buy store. I don't know why. So if you don't have any low-buy, the only way you can really get that is by buying keys and opening lock boxes. And I believe when it was like 4 days left, it was like 400 or something. I can't remember. I think it was like in like the last day just before I completed it. I know it was like 50 low buy just to complete 1 day. But yeah, I don't know if you really want to spend low buy on that. If you got plenty of low buy, go for it, unless you're saving up for something in the low buy store. Kind of iffy. So again, time's closing, still got a few days left. But what about 7 days? So yeah, and that's it for the video. Let me know what you thought about my audio, because it's different right now. And let me know what you think about the ship. Is this something that you would see yourself flying daily? You get like role play with it because you can change how your ship looks. All that good stuff. Leave a like and all that. And I'll see you next time. Bye.